Now here's the best part. It's time for a swim. So I'm a small YouTube creator, or YouTube channel, YouTuber. Let's just go, I'm gonna go with, I'm a small creator here on YouTube. And at the time I'm filming this, I have around 150 subscribers after 9 months of posting on YouTube. So today I thought I would change it up. And yes, I am in absolute beautiful Northern Ontario in the Parry Sound area. I'm at my friend's cabin, who is so gracious to allow us to come in and have a girls' weekend here. We have known each other since like we were 4 years old, and this is our annual thing. So I'm just taking a quick time out to take advantage of how beautiful it is here. And yes, you will see boats, and you will hear boats and sea-doos and birds and all of that type of thing as I go along. So I hope, grab yourself a mochaccino, mako wako, whatever thing. I got myself a tea. And let's talk about the realities of both how YouTube has changed my life as a small creator, but also how YouTube is the biggest, scariest thing that I've also done. And I'm going to also talk about the nitty-gritties about it, about the real things that perhaps you don't hear some of the big creators talk about, or some of the big creator coaches talk about out there. So let's jump in and talk about how starting a YouTube channel, even at a small following like I have, of 150 subscribers, plus then some, growing every day, has changed my life and what it has done for me mentally as well as my family, etc. So let's look at the facts here, okay? I am almost 50-ish. I'll be 50 in a few months. And I also am a military wife. I'm also a mom of 2 teenage boys and a crazy cat lady of 3 tuxedos. I also work a very high-paced commission sales job in the finance industry, where I work about 10 hours a day, 5 days a week there. As well as I run a small business on the side, as well, coaching and developing small business owners and sales consultants. And then there's this beast called YouTube. So it definitely is the scariest and biggest and most fun thing, and a lot of time consumption in it. But I will say it really is something that I am so grateful I started. So really, really grateful I started, because it has already started to change my life after only 9 months. And I want to be candid, both for the good, but also for the bad. Like, I want to talk about the real deeds. And if you're new here, my name is Helena. After a sales career of 30 plus years in the finance industry, doing high commission sales, I now have a little small business where I coach and develop other sales agents and small business owners who want to grow their business, who want to automate things and make their lives easier. I've managed to create systems and processes that just really help me do everything, be everything, and not go completely mental. So that's a little bit about me. But let's get into the actual nitty-gritties now. Oh boy, it is getting really hot out here, and my glasses keep sweating, so just bear with me when they start falling. You are gonna see a little bit of push-up happening today. And so let's get into the truthisms. And I'm gonna talk first about the positives, and then I'm gonna jump into some of the negatives or the cons of starting a channel and what I had to go through being who I am. So I did start a channel in 2021. I published 1 video. I unpublished that video and didn't record a thing for the next 2 years. I was so legitimately scared of judgment, of somebody thinking, who is this person? What do they have to offer? So it did take me 2 years before I really truly hit record again and started loading up videos. And at the time I'm recording this, I have about 23 long form videos. I really don't count shorts. I am not a shorts channel. I experimented with it. It's not really for me. It's not really for my niche. The people who were watching the shorts on my channel really weren't the demographic that I was looking to kind of target to. So at the point right now, after 9 months, I do have 23 long form videos in various lengths of time. And I will say myself, the really long videos really don't get as much views as my 10 to 15 minute, maybe under 20-minute videos do. But anyway, regardless, 23 videos at the time of this recording, around 150 subscribers, and it has been probably one of the best things that I have ever done in pushing myself to continue with this. So it did take me time to absolutely get up the guts to go ahead, to really then pivot and say, what do I really want to do? What am I passionate about? What do I know well? What can I talk to people about? What would people be interested in? So with my background in understanding a lot of data and analytics, I did look and see and partnered with what I like and what would possibly do well here. And one of the pluses that I will say is that breaking through the fear has been so liberating. So if there is somebody who is watching this right now, I do recommend you just start, just record things. Because I'll be honest, the first 5 videos you post, there's probably not going to be anyone even watching them. Now, I do have an outlier in this category because I think it was my 3rd or 4th video. I think it was my 4th video or 5th video. Anyway, I do have an outlier that did go viral-ish. At the time I'm filming this, it was about 4,700 views on that one video on the 12-week year. And yeah, it's gone pretty well. And I do have some videos that have popped off above the 100 view mark. And I know that vidIQ does talk about the fact that a lot of videos rarely ever get, 75% rarely get above 100 views on a long form content. So I have to say I do have some outliers for a young channel, but for most part, when I record a video, I now know I'm recording this for maybe 1 or 2 viewers at the most. And that's what my hopes are for, is that somebody watches it. I'm happy when some more watch it, of course, because that's kind of, I guess you would say, the goal of YouTube. I don't come here to just post videos and make stupid faces and that kind of stuff. So you can argue this could be a stupid face depending on who you are, but whatever. Anyway, that's not what I'm here for. I'm not an entertainment channel. So I didn't expect to blow up and get out there right away. But my goal going into this year was to publish at least 1 long form video a week. Now that would be 52 videos. And yes, there are times now, I'm realizing it, that I do not have 1 video a week. And I'm okay with it. I have become okay with just shutting off the noise and doing it on my flow. And I will say that I'll talk about it more probably in the cons part of things, but sorry, a lot of laughing at my girls' weekend here, so my throat's a little sore here, so bear with me. I am going to be rehydrating along the way because of that. But yeah, with YouTube starting at 50 years old, I will say it's one of the most liberating things I've done. I really love the fact that I pushed through this inner fear and really embraced what I wanted to do. And I will kind of admit that when I was younger, I really wanted to follow a film career. I really would have loved to either have been in front or behind a camera. I would have loved to have been in the arts, and specifically performing arts. I absolutely loved acting. I was in a lot of school plays, all the way from elementary all the way through high school. I did a lot of speaking engagements and a lot of public speaking, even in my career. So I love being in front of people, and I loved being in front of a camera. I felt natural there, but I was afraid of YouTube because it was a beast that I didn't know. And it was so much bigger than, just being at a school function, or it was much bigger than even a room with 10,000 people and speaking in front of them. But it was something that I always wanted to kind of either be an actress or a director, but I never did it. I never followed that path for a few reasons. My background, my parents forbid me to follow an arts career. I really had to follow a path that was very different. Hence why I'm in finance. So it was very much, you're either a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, or, something along the way. So for me to be in commission sales, this was my form of, I guess you could say, rebuttal or pushback, because it was finance and commission based. It wasn't, the set salary where you're going to have the pension for life, or you're guaranteed a job, or you're guaranteed even a paycheck. But yeah, it was, I guess, my way of rebelling against the fact that I wasn't allowed to follow the path that I did. Now, in hindsight, I probably should have anyway, because there's times that, don't get me wrong, I love my career, I love what it has done for me, but I've always had that sense of what if, and I think YouTube has allowed me to fill that what if gap, and which is lovely. So that's one of the biggest things that for a positive for me, saying that I'm able to kind of get in front of the camera and have viewership, whether that's 1 or 1,000,001. It is still something that I am doing, something that I wanted to do, that I really wanted to try in my life. And at 50, I don't feel that I'm too old now, but back in 2021, for sure, I felt I was too old and didn't really have anything to say. So let's talk some facts. If you are one of those people who are sitting on the sidelines and wondering, is this worth it? Why bother? There's so many creators out there. Why would somebody want to watch me? Why would they want to listen to me? Blah, 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 blah. So working 10 hours a day in a commission sales job, and that is 5 days a week. Sometimes it is 6 days a week, depending on the season. It can be quite a overwhelming thing to say, okay, I've got to do this. And the way that I get around this is I often film at 5 a.m. in the morning. I get up at 4, I do my meditation, I have a coffee, and then I hit into my office, which then I work right after that. So I literally will pivot into my job after I've done filming. So one of the big benefits that has come out of this is that my little channel here of 150 plus subscribers, I actually already employ 3 people. So I have a virtual assistant who helps me when I am working. So she will do some of the things behind the scenes for my business, as well as this channel, like research, that type of thing, for me while I'm working. And that's one of the ways that I have been able to make this channel work as well. That being said, I was doing fine also without hiring people. I just got to the point where I was like, you know what, I really would like to do this, because it was a goal of mine, was to help others. And my virtual assistant is one of the things that I was able to hire after starting this channel. And the other thing also is that I do have a thumbnail designer now as well. So I was able to hire a graphic designer to do my thumbnails. So now I have 2 people who I employ or am able to pay, and kind of further the economy in the world as well. And then recently, I actually hired an editor. And yes, I'm going to tag my editor below. I am so grateful I was able to bring Carrie on. He is able to do my videos for me, and it allows me to grow with him and be able to employ somebody, not even in my own country, but somebody in Africa that I'm able to connect with. And it allowed me to really give this sense of giving back to like everyone kind of thing, but also being able to say, I really want to grow with this person. And sorry, there's loud noise right now. Big boat. Big engine going through. All right, where was I? So yeah, hiring somebody who is able to edit my videos, somebody who is able to help with my business and my channel, with the virtual assistant side, as well as having a thumbnail designer. My little channel employs 3 people and me at the same time. And when I say employ, yes, I have to say one of the biggest benefits has been to my small business. It has allowed me to open doors very quickly, because when I say, here's my channel, it really puts a lot of clout behind me talking about things. I am willing to put my name and the word and the education out there, and it gives this element of know, like, and trust that has allowed me to open doors kind of faster than I think even traditional door knocking would have done for me. So I really appreciate that side of it as well. And that definitely is one of the pluses. And one of the other eye-opening things for me was that, yeah, I don't have the million views on my channel and the million subscribers on my channel. And the last time I looked at my analytics, I had about 11,500 views on my channel overall. Now, that might not seem like much to anyone out there and whoopee-doo kind of thing, but I've spoke in front of 10,000 people in a conference room, and it was packed. Sorry, it got real hot out there to a point the camera shut down, both my cameras, because I also had my cell phone running in the background recording music or recording the audio. So yeah, I had to move it inside. So I have talked in front of audiences of 10,000 people, and it's a huge room. It is pretty much the size of a small stadium, you could say. There were a lot of people watching me, and I remember how packed that audience was and how kind of terrified I was at the beginning of that as well. But very quickly I realized that they were there to hear me because I was an expert in the area that I was talking about. So put that aside, with 11,500 views at this point, doesn't seem like much in the YouTube world, but it would fill a small stadium. So really, my small little impact to YouTube is the fact that, yeah, I've been seen by 11,500 people at this point, and that's massive if I compare it to a stadium. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good accomplishment and something that is definitely a pro. The other positive is that I'm not crazy for social media. I'll be honest, I stopped using Facebook and Instagram a long time ago, a couple of years ago now, and YouTube has allowed me to just really focus on like Pinterest and YouTube and SEO and that type of thing. Yes, I do have social media, and yes, I do randomly post, but it's not my favorite thing. So YouTube has allowed me to kind of avoid the social media kind of pressure, I guess you would say. I can't stand the pressure of constantly feeling like I needed to be on. So I literally had to go off about a couple of years ago and just kind of disappear. And I will say, it has been amazing. I have loved not being on social media. I have loved being surprised about the news. I have loved being surprised about hearing about things from people, actual people, in real time. I've loved that side of it. And that's the gift that YouTube has also given me, is that I have not had to be on social media, and I've been able to live and visit and meet people in real life because of it. Oh, don't get me wrong, I still do a lot of virtual stuff, but it is amazing that how much more I feel that I'm connecting with others now because of YouTube. So that's a win. Absolutely. The other thing also is that because I am visible and because I am doing YouTube, it has really helped me to coach my clients in what to expect and how to actually even do better than I am. Because as I grow as a creator, I'm quickly passing that information on to my clients. So they're getting that firsthand experience from me and insights right from the get-go, right from the moment I notice, okay, if I do this, this happens. And I'm able to pass that on to them. And I love that. And some of them are actually even growing bigger than I am because they didn't have to go through the bumps and the lumps as much as I did over the last 9 months. And I love that. I love that I can help somebody do better than I have been doing by going through this process. Now, the last pro that I will talk about, and that is also directly related to my business as well. My email marketing has grown so fast because of this channel. I do have a lot of people who are going and taking me up on my freebies, or lead magnets as they're really called, but they are taking me up on those offerings, and it is growing my email marketing, my newsletter very, very quickly. So again, another positive that has come out of starting this channel. But I want to now switch it to the negatives and some of the things that I have had to overcome in order to get me here, and in order for me to continue to hit record and publish. So let's pivot into the dark side of things. So I touched upon a couple of these things. They were trigger points for me at the beginning of this video. So a lot of the things that I had to face were up in here. So am I too old at almost 50? Am I too chubby? Am I too ugly? Am I not smart enough? Do I not have a good enough voice? Do I not have enough equipment? Do I not have the right equipment? Who will even watch me? Do they want to know anything that I have to offer? What could I possibly say that many times over, etc., etc. It was a lot of the real deep negative mindsets that I had to get over, and that absolutely is on me. I absolutely could own that 110%. And I know my girlfriends are in the other bunkie there, laughing and giggling. I can hear them, and I fear judgment and ridicule even from them, even though I know that they would never do that. It just is one of those things that, I'm constantly battling this brain demon, this little monkey brain of mine that is constantly trying to tell me I am not smart enough, I'm too ugly, etc., chubby, too fat, whatever, to do this. So that was one of the things I really had to get over. And really, at the end of the day, that all comes to the word fear. I really had to get rid of that fear of judgment, fear of ridicule, fear of, my own nerves, fear of, flopping, all of those types of things I've had to get over. So there is definitely a fear factor that I had to go through in order to get here, even as a person who I would say is an introverted extrovert. But the more and more I do it, the less and less that little demon voice becomes who tells me stuff, because I'm able to say, no, look at this video, look at that video, look at that comment, etc. And talk about comments, I was also so afraid of trolls. I was afraid of, the you're too fat to be on here, who do you think you are, yada, 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 yada. I will say, knock on wood, at this point, I have not had any kind of experience in regards to that. The other video I did post on the other channel I talked about earlier, I did right away have someone. I realized also that now that person's in the wrong place, in the wrong space, etc., for them to comment. And I also, now, if somebody did troll me and say bad comments, I'm like, hey, if you got to my video and watched it enough to comment, thank you. Thank you for the algorithm push. I really appreciate you then. So that was one of the negatives that I ended up spinning into a positive, that I realized that every person who is a troll out there who has something negative to say just helps my numbers. So thank you if you do decide to comment a mean and snarky thing. I love you. Ha! And this last one, this was one that I went back and forth on whether or not I was going to admit, because at the time I'm recording this video, I haven't posted something in a couple of weeks. And I did have a kind of a significant break between the last video and the one previous to that as well. And I will say I have been going through something, and yes, I've had a ton of blood tests in the last few months. I do have thyroidism, which is why you sometimes hear like a grainy voice coming out of me. And I am on medication for it. It is why I go for so many blood tests as well. But I've had this major thing happen where I've wanted to fall asleep at 2 p.m. every single day. And yes, I do work 7 days a week. My business, I do it on the weekends. Sorry, pros and cons of filming in spaces that you're not usually filming in, and in lighting situations you have no control. One of the things that I was just talking about was the fact that I was going through all of these blood tests. They couldn't figure out what was going on with me, why I was getting so fatigued. And one Saturday morning, I woke up and I could barely get out of bed. I had no energy whatsoever, and I basically just went from the bed to the couch to the bed. And I will say, I don't drink, so it wasn't like a hangover or anything like that. And I went to bed at like 7 o'clock the evening previous night. I wasn't sick. I didn't have a cold. I didn't have a flu. I didn't have a virus, anything like that. This was happening on a regular. And then the next day, the Sunday, I did the same thing. And this was very unlike me because I work all the time. And then that whole week, I actually took sick days at work because I was so exhausted. And then the next weekend, I was so exhausted again. I couldn't get off the couch. And all the blood tests kept coming back that I'm perfect. Everything's fine. They couldn't find anything. So there was nothing to show what was causing this until I realized I think I was in burnout. I realized that I had been going for 9 months straight, 7 days a week, sometimes 12 to 17 hours a day. And that fierce pace, I was no longer able to keep up. I went into a full-on burnout where I just wanted to sleep. I just wanted to rest. And that's what I ended up doing, was that I have taken time off on weekends to do nothing. I'm up here at this beautiful location, my girlfriend's, cabin here up on the Georgian Bay. I'm enjoying myself. I'm laughing with my friends and I'm giggling. And yes, I am recording today because it is a little dark and we're going to jump into lake when it gets a little warmer. Now, it is hot and sweaty, don't get me wrong. Ontario weather, very humid. So I feel like it's like 40 degrees Celsius, which is I think like in the high 90s if you're Fahrenheit, something like that. But anyway, having the downtime has brought back my energy levels. So I have finally been able to start working again a little bit more pace, being able to kind of work in the evenings a little bit, but not at the pace that I was. So I realized that my capacity is not 7 days a week. I cannot grind. I cannot grind for that many days, weeks, months, almost a year. I just can't do it. So I am giving myself some grace now in saying, okay, what is important to me? What do I really want to do? And when I started this journey, I had this like insane thought that I needed to build $1 million business. And I'm going to associate that, yes, I 100% own that. That is my thought. But also watching all these videos of people saying you have to have $1 million business, or this is how you make $100 million business, or whatever the case may be. And I realized I was trying to live and grind and work at the pace to make $1 million business. But when this burnout happened, the blessing has been, it has really allowed me to say, what's important to me? What do I really want? What do I really, really want? And it allowed me to say, I want more time with my husband. I want more time with my kids. I want more time with my friends and my family members. I want to be able to travel more and I want to be able to do more things. And I do want to help people. I really want to help people, but I'm okay to not do it at $1 million pace. I'm okay to do it at a, $100,000 pace, which is significantly different than $1 million pace. And I will say, yes, I do make over $100,000 in my job, but I'm talking about a small business startup at $100,000. That's quite hard to do in Canada, to get to $100,000 right off the bat within 1 year or not even 9 months. But I'm working now at that pace versus the $1 million pace. And it has allowed me to slow down. It has allowed me to record videos at a different pace. It has allowed me to scale back some of the things that I have been wanting to launch and wanting to position. And it allowed me to also say, what do I really want to create and offer to my client base and the world, etc. I realized what the things that I love to do and the things that I was doing because of the earning potential. And I dropped all of the earning potential type stuff. I'm not interested in it anymore. So I'm doing things now at the pace that I like and doing the things that I only want to do. So huge plus for me in that sense. All right, to wrap this up now, what I'm going to say is just, if you are sitting on the sidelines and you think, is it worth it to start a YouTube channel? Absolutely yes. Is it worth it, especially as a business owner? For sure. I would highly, highly recommend it, whether you are a creative or you run, even a data type company. 110% recommend it, especially if you're a local based business, like someone like a real estate agent or financial advisor, etc. 110% would highly recommend it, and tying it in with your blogging strategy. And I decided also what's next is that I am going to continue kind of to do a little bit more behind the scenes types of stuff. I've had a lot of people asking these types of questions. So I think I am going to kind of open my back doors and talk about how it is starting a small business and allowing you to kind of see, more background information and see more about the analytics in this channel as well, and kind of talk about my process as well. Not that I'm going to be a coach or a YouTube coach or anything like that. I just want to be transparent what it is involving to run a small business while working and running a YouTube channel. I want to be 110% transparent. So if you're interested in that, like, subscribe, follow the channel. I appreciate you. And if not, hopefully I catch you in another algorithm push, because thank you for being here. And I'm going to add a little bit of footage from this beautiful location. I hope you enjoyed. So, ciao, ciao.